I was 68 years old, and I destroyed my own life with one small decision. My wife looked me dead in the eyes last night and said, "Don't open that drawer." Her voice was shaking so badly that I knew something inside it could ruin everything. And believe me, what I found in there was worse than cheating, worse than lies, worse than death itself. If you enjoy stories with shocking family secrets and emotional twists, subscribe now, because this story still keeps me awake at night. And trust me, you will never look at marriage the same way again. My name is Richard. I spent 43 years married to a woman named Helen. We had what most people would call a quiet life. Small house in Ohio, morning coffee together, grocery shopping every Friday. The kind of marriage people admire from the outside because it survived everything. At least that's what I thought. But over the last year, Helen started acting strange. She guarded one drawer in our bedroom like it held gold bars or state secrets. Anytime I walked near it, she found a reason to stop me. At first, I ignored it. After all, old couples deserve privacy too. But then came last night. We were getting ready for bed when she suddenly grabbed my wrist hard enough to hurt me. Her eyes looked terrified. "Promise me, you'll never open that drawer." Not joking. Not smiling. Terrified. I laughed awkwardly and asked what was inside. She wouldn't answer. She just repeated herself again and again until tears formed in her eyes. That was the moment my instincts kicked in. People don't fear old receipts. People don't cry over harmless secrets. After she fell asleep, I stayed awake, staring at the ceiling for almost an hour. My heart kept pounding harder every minute. Finally, around 2 in the morning, I slid out of bed quietly and walked toward the dresser. The drawer was locked. That alone made my stomach twist. Helen and I never locked things from each other. Never. I grabbed a butter knife from the kitchen and forced it open slowly. The sound nearly made me jump out of my skin. I kept glancing back at the bedroom, praying she wouldn't wake up. Inside was a wooden box wrapped in an old hospital blanket. My hands started shaking before I even touched it. I opened the box carefully. Photographs, dozens of them. Every picture showed Helen holding a little blonde-haired girl. Birthday parties, Christmas mornings, school pictures, years and years of memories. And I had never seen this child before in my entire life. Then I found the birth certificate underneath. I swear my body went cold. Father's name, Richard Bennett. My name. I stopped breathing because Helen always told me we could never have children. She cried about it for years. I held her through those nights. I told her we would survive it together. But those photos proved one thing. She lied. And what I discovered next was even worse. Under the birth certificate sat a bundle of letters tied together with a faded red ribbon. The first letter was dated 1985. My hands trembled so badly I almost couldn't open it. "Richard, if you ever find this, I need you to know I never wanted to hurt you. But the baby was yours, and I was terrified of losing everything." I felt sick instantly. The next line destroyed me. "Daniel agreed to raise her as his own." Daniel, my younger brother. The same brother who died 20 years ago. I nearly collapsed right there beside the dresser. My own brother had been raising my daughter while I lived believing I was childless. Every holiday suddenly replayed differently in my head. Every family dinner, every strange look between Helen and Daniel that I ignored because I trusted them completely. I kept reading like a man torturing himself. The affair happened during a rough period in our marriage. Helen thought I was going to leave her. She got drunk one night with Daniel while I was away working construction in another state. One mistake, one secret, one hidden child. But that wasn't the worst part. The little girl got sick at age 9. Rare heart condition. Helen and Daniel secretly moved away for treatments while telling me Daniel had accepted a job in another city. They spent years trying to save her. She died 2 months before her 10th birthday, and nobody told me. Not my wife, not my brother, nobody. I sat there staring at the photographs while my entire life cracked apart inside me. Then I heard footsteps behind me. Helen stood in the doorway, frozen in horror. The moment she saw the box open, she started crying, real crying, the kind that comes from years of guilt finally exploding. "You were never supposed to see that," she whispered. I stood up so fast the chair behind me crashed into the wall. "You let me bury my daughter without even knowing she existed." She covered her face and collapsed onto the floor. "I thought it would destroy you." "No," I said quietly. "What destroyed me was the lie." For the next hour, Helen told me everything. She admitted Daniel wanted to confess many times before he died in a car accident. But every year the secret grew heavier, and every year it became harder to tell me. Then she said something I'll never forget. "She had your smile, Richard." That sentence broke me more than anything else, because suddenly I realized I would never hear my daughter laugh, never teach her to drive, never walk her down the aisle, never even hear her call me dad once. 43 years of marriage suddenly felt like a stranger sleeping beside me. And here's the part nobody expects. I didn't leave Helen, not because I forgave her, not because the pain disappeared, but because when you spend 43 years loving someone, hate and love become tangled together in ways that don't even make sense anymore. Some nights I still sit alone looking at those photographs. I study my daughter's face, wondering which habits came from me. I wonder if she liked baseball. I wonder if she laughed loudly like I do. And sometimes I catch Helen crying quietly in the kitchen when she thinks I'm asleep. We live together now like two survivors of the same disaster. But the trust never came back, and maybe it never will. The craziest part is this. One tiny locked drawer held an entire secret life. So before you ignore your instincts, remember my story. Because sometimes the truth hiding closest to you is the one powerful enough to destroy everything. If this story hit you emotionally, comment what you would have done in my place. And share this story with someone who believes secrets always stay buried.